Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Brand new City Skylines build on a new map. And it's not a vanilla map, even though it's called Is It Really Vanilla? By Snoozeby. The link for it is in the description below. It is a vanilla map. It says it's on a temperate, not island, but temperate. It's using the Lush Coast theme, and there's 61% buildability. Land use. Fishing was a little disappointing, but I think I know how to make tuna. And I'm just showing you here, there are pockets of salmon throughout. I think if you mess around with the terrain under the water a bit, you'll get what you want. But you gotta be careful with the salmon. Salmon's really shallow water. So if you mess with that, you lose your salmon. But I like all four of them, so I'm gonna try and get some tuna in there. But I'm not unhappy with it. This is the mineral deposits. What? Oh boy, Sunday morning. You know what it is. Farmland, it seems like there's a lot of it, but it's really faint. And all of the oil is underneath the water. So that's going to be interesting, trying to find a good spot for those, whatever they're called, oil rigs, so that you're not staring at them all the time on such a beautiful map. And then a majority of the ore is in these mountain peaky ridges. And these are not necessarily dotted throughout, they're just lining the entire map. But there's all ore in there. So again, it's not too bad. Now it is relatively flat as well, but there are some lumpy bumpies and a few wobbly ridges. You can see them. I hope you can see them. But I don't think it's anything so horrific that I'll have a hard time. But I think I'm getting a little bit better at that as well. Please excuse my voice. I'm so sorry. The only issue, seriously, that I had with this map from the very start is the tree choice, which is the redwood, the western redwood trees. They're not working. I think the triangle count is way too high on them. Everything else was fine. And I do have all of these trees, obviously, as assets, but I'm getting rid of the redwood. I'm not going to put up with that. I can't. Well, here's the thing. You're supposed to put the shadow quality up high for good trees or something. I don't remember. But that messes with the... I don't know how it's related, but when you go in to render it, they give you choices for texture, environment, trees, buildings, all that stuff. And for whatever reason, shadow quality has an effect on the sky and the clouds. So I do have to put a flash warning in this video. I will let you know when it's coming up because believe me, it affected me as well. I tried very hard to avoid it as much as I could. But the minute I turned the game on, it started. And I fixed it. It's not going to do that anymore, but I'm just telling you that the only way to fix it was to lower those counts. So my trees just aren't going to look good, and I'm going to have to accept it and live with it. And I hope that you guys will too. I also hope you like this map. I had 3 in mind. The Anchor Bay, which was Boreal, and another one called Navi, and that was European, which we really need to do. No, Navi is temperate as well. We need to do a European. I don't necessarily want to do a snow because I cannot imagine being able to be in that type of an environment for too long without needing to wear sunglasses for every episode, so. But I suppose at some point I could try it. So what you're seeing here is everything that I had to get rid of and replace with a different type of tree. And even though it is another island map, it is not tropical. And I'm not a huge fan of tropical anyway. And only because tree type is very limited. I didn't even notice this here, these sand dunes. Can't imagine what I would do with something like this, but I loved them as a kid. Walking out onto sandbars, feeling like you're king of the hill, looking back at the shore. It's like, hey, I'm so tall. I don't know what I would put. Maybe I should just ignore the sandbars and say, look how pretty that is. That would be a great place for palm trees. I don't know that I would do that. And there were some sneaky palms in here underneath a couple of the bridges. So, anything's possible. I could do whatever I want. I think this is a fantasy map. It's not based on any particular place. But I always look at the entire game as fantasy, so I don't know that that makes much of a difference. I don't try too hard to be as realistic as I should. Okay, so now I've just turned the game on and the flashing begins now. So I'm warning you, grab your sunglasses. I try very hard to hide it. So what was I getting at? The reality of this game is so unrealistic that I just kind of let that go by the wayside. But I think I have to admit that I do build my cities as realistically as I can. And I don't know if that's a drawback or a good thing, but this time I want to calm down, relax as much as I can, go a lot slower than I normally do. I need to stop thinking about the daily grind of plunking out video after video after video, even when there's just not that much to show you. That's YouTube's way, and they haven't rewarded me for it yet. Because I'm not a guy with a British accent, and I know that's sour grapes, but I don't care. Take that one with a grain of salt or however you wish to. But I have been doing the grind for almost 5 years now, and I'm not getting rewarded for it, so I have to let that go. I am never going to be popular. I'm never going to have a big fan base. So I don't need to keep trying so hard to accomplish nothing, is all I'm saying. And that's got nothing to do with you guys, and I do appreciate every single one of you. That is why I'm very grateful that you guys are here. And I sincerely appreciate your support. But I want to take this slow. I want to think things through. I wish I could go into uber detail like some do. My computer just won't allow that. So thoughtful placement, thoughtful where this is going to go, where that is going to go, things like that. I'm going to take my time. And hopefully, with what I have learned so far, I do have more to learn, and I have a lot more practice I need to get in. But I think that we have come far enough in this game where the confidence level is rather high at this point. I'm starting to understand the mechanics so much better. Forgive that flashing. I do apologize. So I think we can accomplish a lot more. I just want to go slow. I want to think about what I'm doing. And if I don't like it, I'm going to tear it down and redo it. And I hope that's okay with you guys. I want to go slow. It's not that big of a place, you know. These are all the mods I will be using for this particular build. And I know it's not that much, but I do have a new one. And it allows you to choose the amount of money you start with, and you can add as much as you want. I like that. Kind of sort of be worrying about going bankrupt. So that is all of them. And I do hope that you like the idea of doing this on this map. And I thank you very much for sticking with me to the end and supporting my channel. Like the video if you did. Subscribe if you're interested. Take very good care of yourselves. Have an absolutely fabulous day. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.